Sawadee Krap, I'm JP Mestanza. It's Friday, August 19th. It's the end of the week. Welcome to Phuket Xtra, brought to you by pvcphukets.com. From October through to March of next year, the government will allow foreign tourists to extend their stay in Thailand, all to support the economic recovery of the kingdom. Foreigners from 18 territories coming to Thailand under the visa on arrival category will be allowed to double their length of stay for up to 30 days, according to a government spokesman. Those from more than 50 places that currently get 30 days will be able to stay for up to 45 days. The country will extend the duration of its visa on arrival, which applies to nationals of India, China, and Saudi Arabia, from 15 days to 30 days starting in October. Thailand is hoping rising tourist arrivals will help boost its economic growth this year, even though the pace is still expected to be the lowest in the Southeast Asia region. The country welcomed 3.78 million foreign arrivals from January through to Wednesday of this week, which generated just under $5 billion US, and most were from India, Singapore, and Malaysia. Government officials hope to attract 10 million international tourists by the end of the year, compared with the 6.1 million forecasted in April. The government hopes to welcome up to 30 million people next year, which would still fall short to the nearly 40 million that arrived in all of 2019, the year before the pandemic. For more, visit the link in the description. During today's meeting of the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, the government decided that they will declare COVID-19 endemic on October 1st. CCSA spokesman Tawilsat Bisanuyotin said on Friday that from October, the disease would be under the Emergency Operations Center of the Public Health Ministry and provincial communicable disease committees instead of the CCSA, chaired by the Prime Minister, though no specific date was given. From November, the provincial committees would be the sole agencies dealing with it. The decision to declare the disease endemic was based on the limited number of severe COVID cases and related fatalities the country is currently facing. In addition, surveys in April and May showed that more than 90% of people had antibodies to the virus, and studies found that 3 shots of any COVID-19 vaccines reduced the possibility of severe illness and death by more than 90%. He said the CCSA on Friday did not consider whether the state of emergency would be lifted, along with a downgrading of COVID-19. The state of emergency imposed to cope with COVID-19 was earlier extended to the end of September. Officials had time to further monitor the situation before making a decision. For more, visit the link in the description. Bangla Rd yesterday was the scene of a mass fire evacuation drill as hundreds of nightlife staff joined in response to the devastating fire at the Mountain Bee nightclub in Chonburi province that saw 19 people perish 2 weeks ago. The event on Bangla Rd simulated a fire breaking out at the Illusion nightclub, with people leaving the club through fire exits and fire response teams entering the building to douse the, quote, flames. The simulation included the recovering of 10, quote, victims from the scene, and a triage tent was set up on the road where medical teams treated them and then transported some of them to Patong Hospital. The whole thing was overseen by top Phuket officials along with Patong Mayor Chalermsak Manisri. While this specific fire drill was a direct result of the recent pub fire in Chonburi on August 5th, this week also marks 10 years since the fatal fire at the Tiger Discotheque nightclub on Bangla Rd in Patong, where 4 people were reportedly killed and 11 others were injured in the early hours of August 17, 2012. Just like the fire at the Mountain Bee pub 2 weeks ago, the decorations and foam paneling was a key factor in the fire spreading quickly at Bangla Rd's Tiger Disco a decade ago, as thick, toxic smoke quickly overpowered many of the people inside. For more, visit thephuket.com. The bomb and arson attacks that were carried out in 17 locations across the southern border provinces of Yala, Patani, and Narathiwat this week was the work of the separatist group the Barisan Revolution Nacional, the BRN, which claimed responsibility for the deadly attacks. The coordinated attacks took place mostly in convenience stores inside gas stations in the Deep South, from 7-Elevens to many Big C stores, which sent at least 7 people to the hospital. They were carried out on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and 1 person died in the attacks, a 21-year-old man whose charred body was found inside a gutted convenience store at a PTT petrol station in Narathiwat province. The BRN, which stated that they carried out the attacks in order to, quote, strike at the power of capitalism spreading in the Deep South, they also offered its condolences to the family of the dead victim in their statement on Facebook. The BRN claimed its men had already asked all staff and customers to leave the locations before they launched their attacks. The BRN stated that the, quote, power of capitalism is ruining their community's economic structure, and that they've forced a number of locally owned shops to close. The BRN alleged the government and the armed forces were supporting the influence of convenience store chains in the Deep South. The National Security Council, the NSC Secretary General, confirmed yesterday that levels of security were being raised to deter more violence as they hunt down the culprits. The whole thing comes amid peace talks between the Thai government and the BRN group specifically, with the Thai government also saying that they will continue the dialogue and encourage all parties to join efforts to restore peace in the Deep South. For more, visit the link in the description. Households throughout Thailand will not be able to grow more than 15 cannabis plants, according to a bill on cannabis and hemp use winding its way through Parliament. A spokesman of a House committee scrutinizing the highly anticipated bill revealed some key details this week, as the bill, the Cannabis and Hemp Bill, is set to soon go before Parliament for a second reading. Section 18 of the Cannabis and Hemp Bill states that anyone who wants to grow cannabis for household use can grow no more than 15 plants per household, and they can register within 1 day without paying any registration fees. People would also be allowed to grow no more than 5 rai of hemp plants per household for household use. As for business and commercial purposes, Section 15 stipulates that those who grow, process, and extract the plants for sale must seek permission from authorities. For small-scale business operators who grow no more than 5 rai, or 8,000 square meters of cannabis, they will face a year in jail and or a fine of up to 100,000 baht if they fail to seek permission. Large-scale operators who grow more than 5 rai will face 3 years in prison and or a fine of up to 300,000 baht if they fail to seek permission. Those who export cannabis without permission face jail time of up to 5 years and or a fine of up to 500,000 baht. Only Thai nationals at least 20 years old can grow cannabis for commercial purposes, while legal entities that want to grow cannabis for commercial purposes must be owned and operated by Thai nationals. Section 28 of the bill prohibits online advertising of sales of cannabis flowering buds, hashish, cannabis extracts, and equipment for smoking cannabis. It also bans false advertising of other parts of the cannabis plant used as herbs. Section 37 of the bill bans the sale of cannabis, extracts, and food with cannabis and hemp as ingredients to anyone under the age of 20, pregnant women, and women who are breastfeeding children. The bill also bans cannabis, cannabis extracts, and food with cannabis and hemp as ingredients online and in vending machines, while promotional and marketing campaigns are also prohibited. Consumption of cannabis is prohibited in temples, public parks, and restaurants. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Thank you so much for joining us today here at Phuket Xtra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. We hope you have a fantastic weekend out there. We'll be back next week. Tune in to us again then. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000, and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.